How's it going, YouTube? Hey guys, it's me once again, Sam Hirsch, coming at you with another lyric session. So excited to get into this one. This one is on my new piece, Failure. And this song is just, I'm super excited to get into this. So with no further ado, let's just get into it. So to start off, this whole song is about an artist, a musician, rapper, lyricist, however you want to say it. It's not myself. I just like rap. I just wrote this in the perspective of someone else who does this kind of thing. And in the nature of this piece is not a rap nor a song. It is a spoken word. And yes, there's some things that could rewrite just to make it that, but I think I want to leave it as a spoken word. And so yeah. But in the beginning of this song, it starts off with, I've reached a breaking point within the development of wait, who am I? And it's this sentence that this guy is saying, I've reached a breaking point within the development of, he wants to say who I am. But in the length of that, he realizes, I don't know who I am. And he goes on to say, with this his music and all this different stuff, he says, I have this gift, right? But the gift doesn't tell me who I am. And often in life, we tend to think it does. We tend to think that the gift tells us who we are, the gifts that we have, the abilities we have tell us who we are, because people know us by those gifts. And then he goes on to say, but I want to use this gift to rid the world of its black and blue bruises, of the pain, of the sorrow, of the misery, and all these different things. And he says, I want to use it for this, and yet I feel useless. Because he says, see, if not through God, then how can I use this gift? Because he's the one that gave it to me. Because he says, before I can offer medicine, I must first use it to rid myself of my own bruises. And this statement is saying, I must first accept the mercy, the love, the forgiveness of God before I can try to guide people, lead people, or give them the way to the love, the mercy, and the forgiveness of God. I have to use that first. And then he goes, again, here I go trying to solve life's philosophies. And so he's saying he goes, again, here I go trying to solve life's philosophies when quite catastrophically all I've done is talked about me. So he said, I want to help people with all these issues. I want music to impact, but even right now, as he's talking about it, as he's talking about his music, he's going, I'm just talking about myself and my issues. When I need to have this God focused, and then the gift will become God focused and not popularity focused, all whatever you want to call it. And so then he uses this analogy. He goes, I am a window. I know God, I know the power he has, and he goes, I know him, and I'm this window that God can use to reach people. And God is the light that is shining through this window, and he will shine onto anyone who decides to walk in my path, to walk in my presence, to walk in the room that is my life, and his light will shine, unless my arrogance pulls down the blinds and doesn't allow his light to shine, because it's more about the gift than it is about the God. That's what that whole thing is saying. And then he ends it with, but if the blinds finally open, the light will engulf everyone that comes in my life. And these songs that I wrote, everyone will sing, everyone will use these as worship to God, because that's what they're meant to be. And he almost pauses, and then he goes, have you ever known that you're meant for more than you feel that you're worth? Essentially saying, I know I'm meant for more than the way that I'm acting, the way that I'm doing things. And he says, every day stuck feeling like a rebirth, struggling through the things that for everyone else was easy to learn. And what this statement means is, essentially, when babies are born, you might have one baby that just begins walking right away, takes it easy, and another baby who they have a struggle. Takes them a long time. Maybe they're 3, maybe they're 2, maybe 3 until they can even stand up or start walking. And so that's what this guy is saying. He's saying, I feel like that baby that it takes forever to learn these things, but it seems so easy for everyone else as they're just cruising through life. It seems so effortlessly, just hanging on to God's word and all this different stuff. And then he goes on to say, but I'm done with that. I don't want failure to be my repetition. And he goes, I've failed so much that I can feel the afterlife coming. I can feel death at the end of this life, and it burns. I know that hell is my destination, is where I'm destined to go if I continue to fail and fail and fail and fail and never do anything to stop the failure. And then he goes, I'm running straight, but in the wrong direction. When for a second I'll turn, and so he'll turn every once in a while back to the right direction. But then he goes, but turning in the right direction burns more. Right now burns more than the afterlife burning. And what this whole line means is that he's saying going in the right direction hurts now more than I could know in the future, because we don't know what pain in the future will feel like, what pain in the future will look like. So he said, I'd rather not feel pain right now than in the future when I don't know what it's going to feel like, when I don't know what is to come. Even though we are given a description of what hell is, he says, in my humanity, I'd rather just feel good now as opposed to having hardship and struggle in doing what is right. Even though the outcome of doing what is right is going to give us better times, more comfort, more everything if we just do what is right now as opposed to doing what we want now and just getting what we deserve and not doing what we don't get another chance to do what is right later. You know what I'm saying? And so then he goes, if only these rhymes, what I'm saying, these words could get me into heaven. But it's not by the grit of our words, but by the repetition of our love. And this is said because a preacher can stand up on stage. He can say the most influential, powerful words you could ever hear. And these words are gritty, these words are strong. But if he's not having a repetition of Christ-like love in his everyday life, then the words, these powerful, gritty words that he said on stage are worth nothing. That's what that means. It goes like, that's a saying I've actually been using in my life a lot, is, I need to be living by the repetition of my love as opposed to the grit of my words. And that's just a heavy, powerful statement. And it's one of my favorite lines in the song. And so, or spoken word. And so just a big, big part. And so I think take that into your lives. Don't be living by the grit of your words, but by the repetition of your love. And by having a repetition of love, your words will be given more grit, more power, more strength. And so then he goes on to say that so then he's talking about our words, and he says, but by the repetition of our love that gives us security in our destination. So that repetition of love in our life gives me security in my destination as opposed to my gift. Because when I put it all in my gift, I feel the burning hell coming at me because it's all about me and not about God. And then he says, see, right now, I was so caught up in just what I was doing now that earthly sensation felt better than eternal declaration. And he goes, and my mindset was the earth is so much bigger than the man in the sky that sits on a throne. And that's all of our mentalities. We think, oh, this world's so big. How could there be a God bigger than this? How could there be something better than what this world has to offer? And then that's where the thing comes in, is if our mindset is that the world is bigger than God, well, there's a story for that. David and Goliath. And so the line, in the song, but the line goes, the guy thinking, the earth is bigger than the man in the sky who sits on a throne, but the giant was bigger than the boy who killed him with a stone. And so that's just a big parallel of saying God can clearly do greater things with seemingly small circumstances, or seemingly small character. And I say seemingly small because we know that God's not small, but we see him as small, and yet he overcomes the greatest of our expectations and the greatest of our circumstances. And then it goes on to say, he will never leave us, God will never leave us, nor will he forsake us until we forsake him. And that's the end of this life, when we leave it and we die. And if we gave up on God, then he had never forsaken us. We have chosen at the end of our life, if we have not accepted God, we have made a conscious decision to forsake God. He never has forsaken us. The last thing he wants is for us to enter eternity in hell. And then it goes, it wasn't sensation that we were truly having. It was a lack of dedication to God. It wasn't sensation. It was a lack of dedication that was so falsely feeling good. But because we accepted that good feeling in the moment, because we knew it might be harder, yet more rewarding to be with God, that's what gave us damnation. Is taking the sensation over eternal declaration to God. An eternal declaration doesn't happen just in eternity, just when we get to heaven. Eternal declaration happens now. Because now is a part of eternity. Now transfers to eternity. Now transfers to the judgment. Now transfers to everything. And I write this song for everyone to hear and understand that your gift can be spectacular. You can be the greatest musician in the world. You can have the best words. You can be able to do whatever. But your gift is nothing without God. And your gifts are amplified with God. They are. That's just the God we serve. A God who gives and gives and gives and gives. So, with that, say it one last time. Live by the repetition of your love, not by the grit of your words. With that, I will catch you later, YouTube. Thank you for watching this. I'll be hitting you up tomorrow, actually, hopefully, or Saturday, for a vlog. I'm just going to kind of go over some music stuff that's happening, some cool things that are going on in my life. Kind of explain that weird symbol that you were seeing in the video before this. Go over all that. Super pumped for that. Also, tell your friends to watch this. If you like this, if you think this is some good material, tell your friends to watch this. Share this. Subscribe, like it. If I like to believe that God has pushed me to do this and driven me to create this YouTube channel, to share what he's put on my heart. And so I want this to be shared with all kinds of people. So share this up. Tell your friends to come watch. Comment some, I've been actually thinking about, even though my YouTube channel isn't big, if y'all have any ideas or songs that aren't mine that you want me to maybe interpret a little bit, I would love to do that. I love interpreting music, love interpreting songs. Let me know if you want me to do that. But with that, I'll see you later, YouTube.